So here we are going to do southern blotting experiment. For this, the first step is we need to prepare agarose gel. We are preparing 1% agarose gel here. I have added 1 gram of agarose in 1 xTAE buffer 50 ml, and this we are trying to heat. We will boil it till the solution becomes clear. That assures that the gel agarose has mixed completely in the buffer. We are trying to arrange the gel tray here in the casting dish. So this cast has been used where we will be fixing the gel tray, clean gel tray. You have to screw it up tightly and evenly. Both the screws you should rotate together. As much as possible you should avoid leakage. So it should be so tight that when we pour the molten gel, it should not leak out of the tank. Now here the gel is boiled and it is clear solution. So this gel we can use, but we will wait for it to cool down a little bit. Just before it reaches the room temperature, it is still a little hot. You can check with the back of your palm. At this point we will add Ethereum bromide from a stock of 10 mg per ml, which I had already prepared. We are adding it to a final concentration of 0.5 microgram per ml into this agarose solution. So mix it properly. See to it that the solution should not be too hot. Now we will first fix in the comb on the tray in the slot provided. So keep the comb properly aligned in the notch on one side of the tray. Once you fix the comb properly, now we will pour the gel into the tray in one go, so that we don't stop in between and it doesn't create air bubbles. In case you get any air bubbles, you can remove it, push them out with the tip of the micropipette. Allow the gel to set. Meanwhile, we are trying to load a DNA marker which has been provided in the kit. So we will centrifuge this marker and keep it aside so that all the contents are in place. Nothing is stuck up on the walls of the marker. Just for 10 to 20 seconds if we centrifuge, it's more than enough. So before loading the marker, we should be sure that the gel tank and the gel is ready. So for that, we have earlier saturated the electrophoretic tank with 1 xTAE buffer. This is the electrophoretic tank. So we have to place the gel in the tank. Now this gel is set. We have given it a time of around 25 to 30 minutes. So this gel is set. Now we will remove the tray from the casting chamber and carefully with your index finger and thumb pull out the comb from the gel. Be careful not to break the gel. So now you can see the wells have formed. So this gel will be kept along with its tray in the electrophoretic chamber. So here we are adding 1 xTAE buffer, and this is how we will place the tray inside the electrophoretic tank. The wells should come on the side of the cathode, that is the black electrode. It will be generally black in color conventionally. Now we will completely immerse the gel in 1 xTAE buffer. You have to pour so much buffer that you should be sure that gel is completely immersed, so that it allows a correct transfer of the electric current. See, the gel is completely immersed. Now we will be loading on the DNA marker onto the gel. The DNA marker is taken and around 20 microliters of marker. This is a ready to use DNA marker. So it will be loaded in one of the wells on the gel. Be careful to load it only inside the well. It should not spill outside, and there should be no air bubbles because it may also lead to spillage. So if it is loaded only in one well, then there will be a uniform pattern of bands that will be observed later after the transfer. like this you have to load. Now once the setup is ready, we will put in the cathode and the anode electrodes on both the sides, the black for cathode and red for anode, after which we will cover it with a lid. After placing the lid, we will connect it to the electric current, red electrode to the red wire and black electrode to the black wire, and now we can switch on the electrophoresis. So here we are trying to electrophorese at 50 to 100 volts current. We can adjust the current using the set button on the machine. So as you can see here, we have adjusted it to around 100 volts. Now you can check whether the current is started passing or not by seeing the formation of bubbles on the black side, that is the cathode. As you can see here, bubbles are coming up, so electric current has started passing. We leave it for the next 1.5 hours. As the time has passed, as we can see here, after stopping the current, we will see that the tracking die has passed on almost to the end of the gel. At this point, we can stop the electrophoretic run and remove the gel out of the chamber, out of the tank. You have to remove it very carefully and decant the rest of the buffer. Don't allow the gel to slip from the tank, and it will lead to the breakage of the gel. We are going to check this whether the transfer has been successful or not in UV transilluminator. Here I am carefully placing the gel, sliding it on the screen of transilluminator. Close the lid and switch on the transilluminator. Do not expose yourself to UV light. Okay, so because we had added ethylium bromide in the solution, agarose gel solution, so we can see the DNA as a bright orange bands on the gel. So here we are trying to focus. Once it is focused, you will see the different bands as a ladder, because it was a marker, so you will see multiple bands in the single lane. Out of these bands, one band we will be blotting on the nylon membrane in southern blot. So see, now the bands are very clearly visible. So our electrophoretic transfer has been successful. Now we will take this gel carefully, lift it very carefully, and we will go for our southern blotting experiment in general case. But because we don't have time today, we are storing the gel in a polythene bag. Here you can stop the experiment for a day or two or a week also. So here we are trying to put up the gel in a polythene bag, which we will flood with the 1-xTAE buffer only, so that the gel is completely immersed and it doesn't dry up. Then we will seal it airtight with the help of pins. The next day I have come back, and now I am removing the gel out of that polythene bag very carefully without breaking it. To check, we can again check whether the gel has bands still or not. Is the DNA, has it traveled somewhere else, or it has leaked into the buffer? So you can check it again on transilluminator if you have any doubts. Here the focus is not so good, but in actuality we are able to see the bands. Now we will be starting the blotting part. For this we need Waterman filter paper or any capillary, any filter paper which can allow the capillary action of movement of buffer from the wet part to the dry portion, so that it allows the it sucks up the buffer from the sides of the tank. So here in the electrophoretic tank we have added again the 10x electrotransfer buffer, 1x electrotransfer buffer. So we are trying to make an arrangement so that this filter paper is placed so that its edges dip into the 1x electrotransfer buffer, so that with the edges the buffer will be transferred on the upper side. So as you can see, we have dipped the wicks into the sides into the electrotransfer buffer. The rest of the filter paper also we will wet with the same transfer buffer. So this step is done to avoid air bubbles. Wherever you are arranging a surface of paper, you will just roll it on with a glass rod so that the air bubbles are avoided. Here we are actually trying to check whether the gel still has bands or not, because we had preserved it. So they are visible. So wherever the bands are visible now, there we'll cover it with a little of filter paper, because our kit provides a very small nylon membrane. So we have to cut the gel according to the size of the nylon membrane. So by covering it with filter paper, we can again view under transilluminator and see we have covered the bands or not. So accordingly we will just cut the gel. The cut gel will be used further, and the sides of the gel will be discarded uh, following the careful precautions, because it has Ethereum bromide. So we'll throw away the sides and we'll just use the center of the gel now, because it has got the bands. Now this gel is ready. We'll be placing the gel along with the filter paper on our arrangement which we have done previously. So, and everything, now see, we have first placed a filter paper which has also been provided in the kit, and we have wet it with 1x electrotransfer buffer. Now we'll place the gel on it. This gel should be placed so that the well is up towards the upper side, because from there we want to transfer it to the nylon membrane. In each step we are rolling with a glass rod to avoid air bubbles. Now this is the nylon membrane which has been provided in the kit. You can see there is one side of the membrane that is covered with a thin polythene sheet. That side should be exposed to the gel. So we'll expose that side to the gel and place it on the gel exactly, superimpose it, and again wet the nylon membrane also with 1x electrotransfer buffer, and roll a glass rod in it to avoid the air bubbles. You should not apply much pressure on the glass rod, because the gel may break. Now we'll have a series of filter papers arranged one upon the other, so that we allow a better transfer. As we are not using any electro transfer experiment equipment here, electronic experiment for transferring the gel blot onto the nylon membrane, what we'll do here is we'll use excessive number of blotting papers, so that they are able to suck up the electrotransfer buffer elaborately. So as many blotting papers as possible we'll be cutting out, of course the same size of the gel, so that once we place these blotting papers over that assembly, what happens is it creates a dry atmosphere for the sucking of the electrotransfer buffer. So I am doing the same thing here. I am cutting up multiple pieces of blotting paper the same size of the gel, and I will be arranging all these blotting papers onto the filter paper which has been covering the nylon membrane now. So if it is an electronic gadget, it will be very easy, because we place sponges and we just place it inside a cassette, southern blotting cassette, and we just start electrotransfer. But because we do not have that equipment in our lab, we will do it in this way. So here see, I am stacking the filter papers blotting papers one over the other, as many as possible. Then we will close this whole thing with a lid, so that there is no evaporation or there is no loss of buffer. and we'll place a weight on this and leave it for the next 16 to 24 hours to allow the electrode transfer. The next day we have come and we are now removing the lid and the blotting papers, of course, one by one step at a time, and very carefully we will remove the filter paper only, after which we will use forceps to remove the nylon membrane. From now on we will not use the gel anymore, we will be using the nylon membrane only, because now we are assuming that the DNA has been blotted onto the nylon membrane. Place the nylon membrane on a thin polythene sheet and place this in UV transilluminator for a period of 20 minutes. This fixes the DNA on the membrane. After this we will be placing this nylon membrane in hot air oven at 70 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. The UV and hot air oven exposure ensures complete immobilization of DNA on the membrane. So, this UV exposure will be followed by exposure into the hot air oven. Take out the nylon membrane after 20 minutes, place it in the petri dish provided in the kit, and this petri dish you can place it in hot air oven for the next 30 minutes at 70 degrees centigrade. Once this has been done, we are simultaneously trying to boil the white annihilated probe. That will be done for 10 minutes only, but before that we have added 10 ml of pre-hybridization buffer and incubated it in 45 degrees centigrade in an incubator shaker for 45 minutes, and after that we have discarded the pre-hybridization buffer and added 10 ml of hybridization buffer, and to this hybridization buffer the boiled biotin probe will be added. So, this is the hybridization buffer, and one vial of biotin probe we had boiled for 10 minutes. Immediately we will place it in ice, and again for 5 to 10 minutes we will place it there. This biotin probe we will add to the hybridization buffer in the petri dish. As much as possible you have to try to take out the probe from the vial. So, you can rinse the vial with the hybridization buffer also, and all the contents you can just place it in the petri dish. Here you will incubate the membrane at 45 degrees centigrade in a shaker incubator for the next 16 hours. So, this is the probe that we are using for attaching to our DNA of interest. So, this is incubator shaker. This is for conical flasks, but we have used it for petri plate. So, we have just stuck up it stuck up the plate on the equipment with the help of a cellophane tape. I am adjusting the RPM to 100, which is the minimum in this incubator shaker, and the temperature will be 45 degrees centigrade. After 16 hours, we will discard the hybridization buffer and add 10 ml of 1x wash buffer A and gently swirl the petri dish for 5 minutes, and twice we have to do this. We have to repeat the wash twice, decanting the buffer each time. Then we will add 10 ml of 1x pre-warmed wash buffer B after decanting wash buffer A. And when we add wash buffer B, we will incubate it at 70 degrees centigrade for 5 minutes in a hot air oven. Similarly, we have to swirl. This wash should be also repeated twice. After decanting wash buffer B, we will add blocking buffer 1x 10 ml and leave it for 1 hour at room temperature. Meanwhile, here we are trying to make streptavidin HRB conjugate buffer. For making this, what we have to do is we have to take 9 ml of conjugate dilution buffer, and to this we will be adding 9 microliters of tween 20. So, here I am making 14 ml. So, I will be adding 14 microliters of tween 20. It is always better to make a little more if available. So, here we have added it. this tween 20. While taking tween 20, you have to be extra careful. You have to place the tip inside only for a while, even after you lose the micropipette, because tween 20 comes into the tip very slowly. So after adding this tween 20, then we will dilute it, dilute 3 microliters of streptavidin HRP conjugate into this. So this is HRP streptavidin conjugate. So this we have to add only 3 microliters into 9 ml of conjugate dilution buffer. So I have also calculated accordingly, and I have taken it for 14 ml. So in 9 ml, 9 ml conjugate dilution buffer, 9 microliters tween 20, 3 microliters streptavidin HRP conjugate. Okay, this has to be prepared just before use. So now we will discard the blocking buffer, and carefully, without letting the nylon membrane fall, and here I am adding the streptavidin HRP conjugate buffer. We will leave it for 20 minutes with gentle rocking at room temperature. After 20 minutes, discard this conjugate dilution buffer carefully. Each time you have to be careful not to touch the membrane with your bare hands, or not to let the membrane fall down. Now we have to add 10 ml of 1x wash buffer C, which has been provided in the kit, and incubate at room temperature for 5 minutes. Decant it, and again you can repeat this twice, similarly as wash buffer A and B. After this, we have to add 10 ml of wash buffer D and repeat the same procedure. So here we are going to add 10 ml of 1x wash buffer D to the petri dish. Again this wash we will be repeating twice. So meanwhile we have prepared 1x substrate solution, 5x was provided in the kit. We have prepared 5 ml of 1x substrate solution. So after washing twice with wash buffer D, now we are going to add 5 ml of 1x substrate solution very carefully only onto the membrane, and we will be swirling it gently and keeping it at room temperature from 20 to 45 minutes or until a blue band develops. So as you can see here, there is development of a small blue band. This is the DNA which was probed from among the DNA ladder. This is how the result is observed.